the shop, Guppy. You want to film a shop update?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it, guys. This is what we've got going on in the shop. Take a look at this countertop bench, workbench deal that we have built. Okay, this is a 28-foot long countertop workbench, whatever you want to call it. Before, I had everything just stored on the ground pretty much all summer, and I thought about this, and I had been going through ideas pretty much all summer long what I wanted to do. Finally decided this is what I was going to do. My buddy Chris, he likes to spend my money, so whenever I come up with an idea, he goes, oh, why don't you do this? I put countertops in my buddy's garage, and it came out really great. The problem is it's a lot more expensive than just doing like plywood, but this thing's going to last 150 years. So I like this color. We picked this one out, and it's pretty awesome. So 28 feet long, and then I want to show you what we did here. Basically every I think it's every 45 inches or so, we have a post. So this is a 4x4 post, and what I did is I notched out 1.5 inches with a router, and then we have, this is a 2x3, these are both 2x3s, and then we have a 2x4 up here, but we notched it out so that the 2x3 fit in there perfect, and then there's also a slot. I gave myself another 1/2 inch on top to fit plywood through there. So it came out really clean. It looks really good. I'm absolutely loving it. What we did is we came up 4 inches from the ground, so that's enough space for me to fit my arm under there if I drop something or put a broom under there. And then we've got about a 14, maybe 14.5 inch gap right here, which is the perfect space to fit the biggest bins that I have, which right here we've got the biggest ones. We've got a little bit of clearance, but we can slide it right out. And then the shelf right here, this is about a 6.5 inch clearance, and come down here and I'll show you why I chose that. So it fits these bins, which these are like the best bins for storing tackle in your boat. It fits these perfectly, and then you can also double stack Plano 3700s, the deep ones, and you have like a 1/4 inch of clearance. Easy slide in and out. So we maximized our space here. We came up 34 inches on the posts, and it gave me just barely enough room to use my outlets here. So we've got a cell phone charger plugged in. They're hiding back here behind the tackle. And anyway, it came out really good. Really happy with it. We stained this. So Naomi and I, we went with a black stain. It took us about 10 hours, I think, to stain this entire bench. Then we put polyurethane over it to seal it. And then we did pocket hole screws and stuff to mount the countertop on here. But super ideal. I can come out here, work on tackle. It's super convenient, super organized, and everything's out for me to see it. I thought about doing cabinets, and I like to be able to see my fishing stuff, because if it's out of sight, it's out of mind, and that's something that I've learned over like the last couple of years. When I'm storing my tackle, everyday tackle that's going in and out of the boat, I want to be visible. And this is actually all my tackle right here. I've got everything out of the boat. I can fit it all in here. Made sure to get a countertop that has a backing on it, so that way nothing can fall back behind the bench. Like if I'm out here rigging tackle and I drop something and it rolls, it's not gonna go behind the workbench. And then these big bins down here, these are all just extra tackle that I can't fit up on the pegs. Like look at this. This is probably the most insane deal I've got going on here. This is like 300 packs of Max Scent flatworms, because a few years ago when you couldn't get them, I bought like 400 packs, and I've barely really gone through it, but I can't fit them all in the peg, so that's my lifetime storage of flatworms right there. And we've got the battery chargers fitting up in here real nicely. Super convenient to go in and out of the boat. Smart light switches finally installed. All summer long I'd be coming home to back in, and where we live it is extremely dark. So when I open up the garage door, if my lights are not on, I cannot see backing down the driveway. Coming in the garage, I don't know if somebody put something in the way of where my boat was. So I'm pretty excited to have this. Smart light switches, I can control them right off the phone. So whenever I'm coming home from fishing, or when I'm inside and it's freezing cold outside like it is right now, and I leave my lights on and I'm getting ready to go to bed, now I can just pull the phone up, go on the app, and turn my lights off from inside the house. We got the fans on the switch as well. And go Team Guppy.
Woo. Oh, Gary, Martha's being so nice. She's taking care of you, isn't she?
We've got the Lake Champlain Hall of Fame. This is all my used baits because everybody knows whenever you're fishing, before the tournament, you cut off the baits you use in practice. You don't really want to use in the tournament. Maybe the hook's a little dull, whatever it is. So I always cut them off and put new baits on before the tournament day. And then you accumulate a bunch of them and they end up in the bottom of your boat. And then they end up on this countertop and it covers everything and you're like, I don't know what to do with it. So I took a page out of Jacob Wheeler's boat and I put little styrofoam insulation board strips here so I can hang up all these baits so I have a place to keep them. You know, the baits are still good. I'll throw them in practice. I'll throw them in the spring when it's not a tournament. And I originally had just the full board sitting up here. And let me show you. This is the full piece right here. I've cut it down. But I originally had this hanging over here. And what I realized is, say you're going to hang baits. It works really good if you can fit it in the top slot. But when you have the whole board there, it gets kind of difficult. I mean, you can do it, but it's kind of a pain to fit it there. So after messing with it for a couple weeks, I decided what I was going to do is I was going to cut it into strips so I could put all my baits in on the top thing. It'd be good. And I just put a 10-inch gap here, separating them. And then I thought about what am I going to do with the empty space. So what this is the Lake Champlain Hall of Fame. These are all my friends. These are guys that I'm buddies with that have won major tournaments on Lake Champlain. All the way from, if you look over here, that's Tommy Dolan. I believe that was like a 2003 ever start on Champlain. Steve Estes, Joe Lucarelli, Steve Lucarelli, Brian LaBelle, Jacob Wheeler, Ronnie Nelson, Scott Martin, Joe Lucarelli, Tom LaVictory Jr., David Dudley, and Kyle Cortiana. Those are all the guys that have won major tournaments on Lake Champlain that I'm buddies with. And I thought this would be kind of a cool thing, like a talking point when people